What's going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we're taking the new V2 6+ Doflamingo into some Pirate Rumble, and I gotta say, this man's a weapon. This man is an absolute god in Pirate Rumble. He has become the best nuker that anyone's ever seen in this game mode. Now, I do still think Pirate Rumble, it has a lot of work to do. I don't think it's exactly where it needs to be a game mode that is investable, but Doffy sort of is giving me some nice light, and same with Kinemon and Dendro and Odin as well. But running the Mono Dex team has like quickly become one of my favorite teams. In today's video, I have put together a Dex team that takes on a lot of like teams that are like Freak Spirit builds, takes on a lot of Slasher builds. Obviously, we take on the Quick build, but I do want to state that it will still struggle against stuff like Wano Law and obviously Strength. Strength being its natural enemy. You do want to be very, very careful when you are coming up against those variations. But if you are enjoying the video, if you are trying the team, make sure to belt the like button for me. And if you are new to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button as well. Let me know in the comment section if you are trying Dex. What are you guys running? I would love to know. Most importantly, enjoy the video. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright, so the first fight is against the old school Slashers, but obviously they have 6+ Odin. Now, Dex stereotypically struggled against the Slashers, so I thought, hey, let's sort of like test the waters here and see how we go, especially now that Odin, V1 Odin that is, has his 6+, and he does a ton of damage. The upside to using Dex, though, is we do have a lot of defense, and as you guys will see here, we are starting off with a good chunky 22 defense. Now, I have opted to go with Kid on this Dex team, even though like Lucci is a thing, but the big reason I did opt to go with Kid is Kid has a very good passive, he has a very good special, but he's also a driven character, which means he actually gets buffed from Doflamingo as well as Cavendish. Now, a unit that I did want to try on this team, but I actually don't have, is Moria. I wanted to try and include Moria on the team and then drop Dalton to the bench, but like after I've like run this team so many times, I just really like having Dalton in the front lines. He gives an attack buff, he gives a defense buff, he gives crit chance, and his special does so much goddamn damage. Now, we did actually lose Cavendish in the early stages of this fight, which I did predict would happen. I thought we would lose like either Cavendish or maybe Kizaru or something like that, but I am happy that out of any unit that we do lose, it is Cavendish, as he's the only one that's not providing us with defense. Once our Kid special pops off, he is going to actually replenish some of that defense for us. So as long as we can just weather the storm here, we should be okay. And then once Kid comes in, we're going to get some more defense. He's going to do a lot of damage as well, which is great. It's another reason I wanted to opt to keep Kid, is because he does a lot of damage as well. Once Dalton comes in, Dalton's just going to absolutely decimate. Manages to take out Doffy and Odin, which is absolutely huge. That way we don't have to see that second Odin special, and from there, it's just basically smooth sailing from us from there. Dalton's special just does so much damage. Him and then Doffy just like together are just all our damage dealing, and then we just have like some consistent like defense like boosting with like Kid and Kizaru, which works very, very nicely. So that was the original Slashers, taking them down nice and easily. Let's move on to another fight now. Alright, so moving on to another Slasher team now. This team actually doesn't use Roger, but actually has the big dog Wodger on the team. So I thought, hey, let's just like jump in and let's see how we go against Wodger instead of Roger. And this guy's actually using Smoker on the bench as well, because Smoker is very, very strong. Now, if you have Smoker, I actually managed to pick up Smoker, and you will see him in some of these other fights. I'm pretty sure you will anyway. But I actually managed to pick up Smoker, who I did bring into my team as my last bench slot over Whitebeard. The big reason I did that is because he's actually a driven character. He's one of the best bench units in the game. He's so damn powerful. I actually did another 2 multis on the Santa Sonia banner, and I managed to pick up both Smoker and Santa Sonia. So that was pretty cool. I picked Smoker up on the second and Santa Sonia on the third, and I was like, yeah, cool. I'm good. I'm Gucci now. I'm done. But it was pretty cool to pick up Smoker. He's another really good option for this particular team. Or having Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria is another really good option. You could put Gecko Moria in like the bench spots. You could use him like your first line bench, especially if you're versing quick teams. Having Moria and Kizaru together just does absolute wonder work. Another character I really wanted to try on this team was something like Queen, but unfortunately bringing something like Queen meant that I would have to take out something like Kid, or taking out something like Kizaru. Now, Wodger comes in there and just absolutely decimates 2 of our units. That's basically what Wodger does best. He just comes in and he does a ton of damage to a lot of units and then just kills 2 units. It's just the way it goes, really. Him and Yamato just have that sort of effect. But once Doffy comes in, Doffy can do a lot of damage. We have Sober Mask in now, we have Zoro in now, and we have a lot of damage output with our 3 big heavy hitters. And we still have a lot of defensive replenishment thanks to our boy Kid as well. That was a big reason I wanted to keep Kid on the team as well. Kid manages to keep your defense nice and high, which is great. With him and Kizaru keeping it nice and high, means that we can get towards that sort of back end of the fight, around the 40 seconds, around the 30-second mark, where Doflamingo, Zoro, and Sobermask absolutely shine. And it's basically where most of the matches are won for the Dex team. It's just like, well, we're in the last 30 seconds. Doffy has a special. You're probably going to lose now. Sorry to say it, but it's probably game over for you. Oh, Zoro has a special, and we're in the last 50 seconds. We are going to do a double shot there. Fortunately, Sobermask just misses out on getting that 40-second double shot, but it doesn't really matter anyway because all I've got left is Wadra at this point. So that was the modern-day slashes, working very, very well. Let's move on to some Free Spirit fights now. Alright, so Free Spirit fight numero uno is against a Sabo-y kind of build. They are using V2 Odin, they have Roger, they have Yamato. So the idea of their team, by the look of it, they've sort of designed it around having stuff like Free Spirits and Psy units, being Roger and Yamato. Roger's still buffing everyone. Yamato's only buffing Roger and herself, but then Ace Sabo and Kinemon Denjiro are just buffing the whole team, as well as Otama being a very, very good healer. Otama's a great unit for the Free Spirit teams, and I have seen a lot of Free Spirit teams popping up lately as defensive options. It is fairly good. Like, the Free Spirit class has a lot of really, really good options, and there's a lot of healing when it comes to Otama as well as Kinemon Denjiro, because Kinemon and Denjiro can actually raise your recovery rate. Now, in the early stages of this fight, it doesn't matter too much. We're sitting in a nice, chunky 30 defense, and basically they're going to throw everything they have at us, and it's just going to feel like absolute little feathers. Like, Ace Sabo hitting, like, normally hits fairly hard there. It basically just felt like an absolute little feather. Yamato, though, can still hit ridiculously hard. The thing with Yamato is if Yamato halves your stats and then hits two of your units, as you can see right there, she managed to hit Kizaru and hit Cavendish for the half stats and managed to take them out with her special. It means that you do, like, lose a lot of HP. That halving stats can be an absolute clutch. But the good thing is, well, it took out Kizaru, who's like one of our defensive replenishments, and did take out Cavendish, which isn't a big issue. I actually moved Cavendish into the center slot for some of the other fights as well. I do think losing Cavendish is way less, like, dangerous than losing... Wow, Kinemon Denjiro just tanked all of that. Well done. I do think losing Cavendish is the best option to lose in your front line. And then have something like Zoro come in. Because once Zoro comes in, even in the last 50 seconds, like, Zoro is still going to be doing a lot. Plus, if Cavendish dies, his passive is really only, like, good. Like, very good, I should say, for the first 40 seconds. And then after that, he's kind of just like a single target nuker. And from there, you kind of only want AoE nukers, as we're kind of getting into the sort of shaky end of the time frame. We did cop another Yamato shot, and as you see, Yamato did basically nothing because... Wow, this Zoro is going to pop off. Because she didn't halve our stats first. Once we do get into the back end of the 40 seconds, Doffy just sort of attacks like 500 million times. Zoro's attacking 500 million times. Subermask's attacking 500 million times. And then whatever's sort of left in terms of the single targets, Dalton will clean up with his 3 big, like, damage-dealing effects. They have a lot of healing here. They have Straw Hats on the bench. Straw Hats is another phenomenal Free Spirit unit. He does basically buff Psy, but lucky for us, we do have Dalton, and Dalton just sort of claps the rest of the stage. So there you go. That was a Free Spirit fight. Let's move on to another Free Spirit fight now. Alright, so moving on to another Free Spirit build now. They're using Rayleigh, V2 Odin, and Straw Hats. Now, Straw Hats are fairly scary when you do see the Straw Hats popping up, because they allow Free Spirit characters to get haste. Their special also does a lot of damage, and they have a revive mechanic. But nevertheless, the Dex team, with its high defense, still manages to just sort of sit around, cop all of those shots, tank for days, and then manage to take them out. So let's take a look at how this fight operates. They do have V2 Odin as well here. V2 Odin is really good at nerfing driven characters. Now, something I want to, like, make note is our team is very driven based, which means Wano Law just gets absolutely better. Wano Law just ages with fine wine when it comes to PvP, because a lot of driven and powerhouse characters are coming out, and a lot of driven and powerhouse characters are very, very good in PvP. As you're looking on our team here, we have Doffy, we have Cavendish, we have Kid, we have Zoro, and then if you have Smoker on the bench as well, that's another driven character. If you're using Moria, that's another driven character. So all of these driven units are going to be getting a lot of special cooldown reduction, and their team is going to be getting a lot of special charge, which means that we're not going to be popping off our specials fast enough, namely getting our special of Kid off quick enough, so that way we can't replenish our defense fast enough to sort of tank all those big shots that the Free Spirit characters have. Stuff like Odin's special, stuff like Wadja special, well, Wadja's not a Free Spirit, stuff like Straw Hat special, stuff like Yamato special. Tanking all of those shots is crucial to survive, especially stuff like Sabo and Ace as well. That's another character that can sort of hit you very, very hard, and you really want to make sure you have as much defense to tank those shots. As you can see with all these fights, we are sitting comfortably at over 20 defense all the time, but we are still quite low on HP. We do manage to take out the Ace Sabo there, thanks to the 1000 fixed damage from Kizaru. It's not exactly the greatest fixed damage that Kizaru can provide. He's basically just here to keep replenishing that defense on such a low cooldown, and that's his big benefit. He's very, very good at tanking as well. But Straw Hat's going to come in and they're going to hit us fairly hard here. But because we have so much defense, as I keep rambling on, 27 and 31 on Kid there, we are going to sort of tank that. Unfortunately for them, they do have Otama on the bench. Otama did manage to come in and basically just chonk heal everyone. Otama has such good healing payout powers that it can be quite scary. But now that we're in the last 30 seconds of the fight and we do have our boy Doflamingo ready to go, it is fairly scary for our opponent here. So once Doflamingo comes in here, let's see how he goes. I think he does 4 attacks here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, basically just board wipes the entire team. Whatever scraps are left, Dalton will usually take care of. Or something like Zoro or Sobermas can also do the heavy lifting there as well. Goodbye. See you later. So there you go. That was another Free Spirit team. Fairly chunky Free Spirit team as well. But let's move on to another Free Spirit fight now. So the final Free Spirit fight is using the new Kinjiro and V2 Odin combination, as well as the Straw Hat crew as well. They do have Yamato, they do have Roger, so this particular team does look a little bit scary. They are getting a lot of buffs with the Sai characters, Yamato buffing Odin, Odin buffing Yamato and Roger, and then buffing everyone with his Free Spirit buff. Roger being a rainbow unit works quite nicely, and then Straw Hats just giving that special cooldown, giving that haste that they can so... That haste is so powerful, bringing forward everyone's specials. And that way you can just pop off something like Odin, you can pop off something like Sabo and Ace, or you can pop off something like Yamato, and just absolutely decimate units. And it's so damn scary when you see Straw Hats come in, pop their special, and then be like, yo, how you doing? Now everyone's coming for you. But we do manage to get Kid popping in at the perfect time. You do want Kid to be popping in right on that 30-second mark. That way he gives a lot of defense. Then Kizaru comes in not long after that, buffs your defense to around 30, which means that you can just tank these shots for days. Straw Hat Crew does absolutely nothing in terms of damage, but that haste ability becomes very scary, because now he got his special off first, which means that he can attack, again, well, not again, but like, his enemy, oh wow, the enemy can attack with all of his units again, namely getting like a Roger special to nerf, namely getting Odin special for damage, namely getting Kinemon Dendro for healing and more damage, and as you'll see, we did actually lose, our boy Kizaru there. Now, Odin hadn't popped off either. We lost Dalton. We get blinded. It's all looking pretty scary because of that Straw Hat haste. That Straw Hat haste can just do absolute crazy work and just do a lot of damage to our units at the same time. Lucky for us, we had a lot of defense up. We do lose Kid as well, which is pretty scary. And this is what I was saying. This is where I actually pulled Smoker. Smoker was really good because he came in. He actually just gets a nice chunky attack buff, thanks to being under Doflamingo and being a Driven as well. Doflamingo doesn't only just boost Dex, he does boost Driven class as well, which means you do want to try and fill out both of them there. Unfortunately for us, we only get the 2 shots from Zoro, but the 2 shots is more than enough to take out Mr. Odin there. And then thank you, Mr. Smoker, and this is what makes Smoker so good. Having him as your final bench line is so he can come in and sort of board wipe, as well as special bind. Now, the Dofi just see you later. Dofi just went insane there with his 4 attacks, finishing off. But Smoker, special binding helps out so much. That was another Free Spirit fight. Let's move on to some quick fights now, and show off the power of DEX. Alright, before we jump into quick, I actually found this recording of a Psy Free Spirit based team, and this particular team is sort of very centric around Psy and Free Spirits, and that way you can well, this particular team sort of showcases the power of Dex and like the synergy that the Psy team has. Now, they are running Enel as well, very similar to Kizaru on our team. Enel sort of just sits on that team to just replenish defense up and just pops off his special so quickly, and is basically sort of holding the team together in terms of just defensive power. It's a big reason why Kizaru is actually on our Dex team. Kizaru is sort of here just to sort of like tank shots, help us tank shots, and allow us just a lot of damage output at the same time, because he can give us an attack buff and he can give fixed damage as well, which is really, really nice. Him in combination with Kid, it just works like an absolute dreamboat. So that way you can just continuously keep your defense nice and high, and Enel provides that for the same thing for the Psy team. Even though he's not getting buffed under all those Free Spirit buffs that the team has, stuff like Odin's Free Spirit buffs, stuff like Straw Hat's Free Spirit buff, he's still getting or giving the team a lot with that massive defense up that he can provide. Straw Hats and Odin are very good at reducing damage from Driven as well, which means that a lot of our characters are doing a lot less damage to them. And once they do get that haste ability off, it does become quite scary as well. So we do lose Dalton fairly early because they had the haste ability come in. But we do have Zora coming in the back end, and Zora's special is ready to go thanks to Dalton being charged. And he will actually pop off in the 50-second mark. It's a huge difference getting Zora's special off between the 50-second and, say, the 51-second, because that extra shot is just absolutely massive as we are sitting at a nice chunky 21 attack. So we do get a lot of damage there, but as you can see, like, the enemy's still sitting at a very, very nice HP pool. Strusen's very, very good at lowering our defense, raising their defense as well as their attack, which means they can actually output a lot with their Yamato specials as well as their Odin specials. So it does become fairly scary as well. We do manage to get Straw Hats fairly low, but we haven't managed to take him out just yet. Kid should take him out here, but he does have that incredible revive mechanic. But once that happens, DOFFY comes in. We've got the last, 30 seconds? We're just outside the last 30 seconds. So unfortunately for us, DOFFY didn't sort of pop off the way we wanted to. We did get fairly lucky with Odin, only hitting, one unit. We will lose Cavendish there. Will we lose Cavendish there? No, Cavendish is still alive. Wow, okay. Well, that's crazy. Yamato sort of just got, she put in work, but, she just didn't kill, which is odd. Normally, she just kills 2 units. But I guess that's the power of the defense up that we have. But now we're in the last 30 seconds. Zora's just going to finish this off for us. Thank you, Zora, my boy. And, who's left? Okay, Kogaro and Nolan's just, running in, don't worry, guys, I'll save the day. This unit sucks. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Kid, just get knocked back straight into Kid special. Thank you very much. See you later. Alright, now we're going to hit up a quick fight. I'm only going to showcase one quick fight because obviously that's the natural enemy of Dex. Well, Dex is natural enemy of Quick. Alright, so the final fight is against a Quick team. Now, I did find a fairly chunky Quick team. Using an 8-man team with a full bench is what I wanted to sort of showcase here because Quick, they've had a lot of support when it comes to Powerhouse, when it comes to Quick, when it comes to Driven. They all work very, very nicely. Now, obviously, Wano Law and Corazon is another really good option that you guys can slap on the team. But with the Quick team, just Dex is its natural enemy. Dex just does work against the Quick team. It's very, very powerful because of the ability to nerf it so much. Dalton's nerfing it, Kizaru's nerfing it, Moria's nerfing it, Corazon's nerfing it. You can drop Frankie on the team, Frankie will nerf it. You just have so much potential of just destroying Quick. But if you have a Dex team built and you see a Quick defensive team, there's a really good chance that you will absolutely decimate it. So go up against it because there's a good chance you'll get a free win, especially if it's up those high points. There is something to note though. If they are running a hybrid sort of Quick fire tank pirate build, you want to be very careful because there's a lot of driven characters. And another good unit for the team that we're rocking is the fire tank pirates as well. If you are looking for another driven character, if you don't have Kizaru, you could run something like the fire tank pirates there. But the fire tank pirates, they just don't die. They give us so much healing, they give so much defense, and they just help out the Quick and driven based teams very, very nicely. I actually went up against a Quick driven team and I actually lost because the fire tank pirates wouldn't die and I ran out of time. I did get really bad RNG. My Kid special didn't hit anyone twice. It didn't actually, it was so frustrating. The last second, my Kid popped off, and it was sweet, literally just hit, and I win. And he went straight past Fire Tank Pirates, didn't kill them. So Fire Tank Pirates' ability to just survive, their survivability, is so damn powerful. So just be careful if you do see that particular unit on said team. But if you do see a Quick team, Dex will just absolutely demolish it, because you have so much power. Even if they have, a good bench, look at this. We're not even getting scathed. We're not even getting touched. Stussy is another, a really good, nerf for the Dex team. She works really, really well with Kuzan. I found when I was versing Quick teams with this Dex team, but Dex team would win 99.9% of the time anyway, so it didn't matter too much there. Once DOFFY gets his special ready to go, it's just smooth. So DOFFY does so much damage. He's become the best nuker in the entire game and an absolute weapon when it comes to PvP or Pirate Rumble. But that's going to wrap up the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lates!